All right. Hey, everyone. My name is Brad Cummings. I'm from Board Game Geek. I'm here with Dave. We do the iOS or digital board games blog on Board Game Geek. So if you are looking for discussion of these physical games, we're not going to be talking about those directly tonight. We're going to be talking about digital versions of board games that came out this year and some games that maybe aren't purely board games but kind of fit that mold. So again, just going to let you know that's what we're doing. That's what the title says. If you want to head out now, that's totally fine. But I think you might, if you're into mobile games or digital games, you might find something interesting that you hadn't heard of, or a board game port that you maybe hadn't heard of before. I think that's right. Is that a good explanation, Dave?
Yes.
Did I hedge well enough?
No, but
Let
it's
us
not
know
going
on
to
the
be. I don't know that we're going to be talking about. Just so people know, it'll be probably just as much non-board game digital stuff as it is board games. So
tonight for
just
sure. Yeah, there's gonna be
yeah,
some.
the Thursday will be more board gamey, but tonight's going to kind of be all over the place. So
There's definitely plenty of board games on this list, but it's kind of mixed around, I guess. Okay, so the categories that we are doing tonight. Should I read them off?
sure, or just start either way you want to do it.
Okay, I think I'll go through them real quick. So we're going to try to come up with a winner and a runner-up, which is what we did last year. So two games from what we've nominated. So the first is best old game. This is an older board game port or digital game that we've been playing this year. Could have been from just last year. Could have been older than that. It's just kind of because you don't always know, which of these games is going to stick. So this is a good category for that. And then we have biggest surprise of 2016. Best interactive story / RPG, best puzzle game, and best debut. And this could be game or company, just kind of like the best first shot at doing something digital. Oh yeah, and my arm is healed. Someone mentioned in the chat. I am done. So
Until the
all
next time.
right. Oh, looks like both Aldi and I are on Board Game Geek TV. Maybe I need to log in for another thing. I just won't type in the chat. So, hey, you got some follows. I need to move this. Hey, Hairbrain. Is that Hairbrain Schemes? Possibly.
I don't know, but they're wondering why you're wearing a Facebook hoodie.
It's comfortable. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
That's
I got this
that's
at work
deep.
a little while ago. It's a nice looking hoodie. I like the color. I like
What is
bright blue and purple. So
what is happening?
I don't know. This is fame. Okay, let's jump right into this. So
Can you just say that we're used to when we used to Twitch on our channel, we'd be happy if we had like 8 people show up.
that's
So,
true. We are like
so we're not
factorial
sure
greater
what's
than
going
that.
on here. So
Okay, so the first category tonight, and I've got a list here of our nominees, is recommended old games. So this is a game that didn't come out in 2016 that we've been playing through 2016. So the nominees are, you ready? Magic Duels, Picross, which I don't know if that exactly qualifies, Vainglory, Pokemon TCG, Sorcery Series, the Sorcery Series, Card Crawl, XCOM, and Brass and Steam Rails to Riches. This is actually one of our longer lists, I would say, of nominees.
that's because you picked a bunch of games I didn't know about. So what the,
Well, we
explain
can get
explain
rid of
Picross
some of
for us
these.
because I have no idea what that is.
Okay, so Picross is. I'm gonna actually have to leave it on this camera for right now. So this game actually came out this year. It's called Picross 3D. It's a puzzle game where you have this cube and you're trying to using like kind of Sudoku logic figure out uh, what the shape is. Let me just pull up this cube real quick. Uh, so for example, you'd start with a cube like this, and you know that
Ugh.
anything that's
That
zero is
that's a
zero.
that's a really weird looking iPhone.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a pretty strange iPhone. So, but there's versions of this on iPhone. There's everywhere. But I just discovered it this year. This is actually a new game that came out this year, so we can take it off the list. I just wanted to mention that I fell in love with Picross, which is this type of puzzle. There's also 2D versions where you're just dealing with a grid. So I'm going to delete it. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm confused.
Well, because it's not. I don't know. The one I've been playing is not really that old. I guess it technically came out this year, but the type of puzzle has been around for
forever
decades.
and ever.
Yeah, and I just discovered it.
It just kind of seems like I don't know. I mean, it's great. I'm just surprised that that's that hot. I know someone else I know named it as one of their top games of the year, and it just kind of surprised me. Like,
Yeah.
really? Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
and Aldi's saying in the chat that he also loves it. It's a really good game. If you can steal your son's device, you might need to. So, but we can move on from there. I'm also just gonna take Vainglory right off the list. That's just it's a MOBA. It has really nothing to do here except that I fell in love with it again this year, but it's gone. So
Was that the one that they showed at the Apple event that,
I think
like
that
two
was
years
like
ago?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's.
Okay.
I mean, if
It
you
sounded familiar, but I couldn't think of which game that was. So okay.
yeah, if you like MOBAs, I should actually be pulling some of these up. I haven't. I worked hard to. That's my daughter right there. Whoops. Worked hard to get a lot of these up here. So Pokemon, I think we also can take off the list. Just
Well, I've not played it, so if you'd like to talk about how wonderful it is, that's
well,
fine
I
with
just
me.
discovered this
So
year it's an older app, but you can actually go and take when you buy a physical pack of cards. So if your kids are into the cards, you can actually there's a code in each one that you can redeem for a booster in the actual game. So or in the digital game. So it's a real cool connection between the digital and the physical
no,
versions of the game.
wow,
So I don't
look at
know.
you and all these games. Look
Oh,
at that.
this is all the games we're going to be talking about tonight. At least we'll show some of these. So, do you
So
want to talk
shiny.
about? I mean, we probably don't. We can take Pokemon off. We probably don't need to talk about Card Crawl yet because I think that's going to be high on this list. Do you want to make a defense for
That's
Steam, possibly?
well, it's just I mean it came out in 2015, late 2015, and it is one of the games until recently it did not have multiplayer, so it was kind of my solo game when I just kind of wanted a little bit of a board game fix. That was the one I was going to. I don't think I actually finished any games. It was more of a log on, play for 10 minutes, and then cancel next time, start a new game kind of thing. But I just ended up doing that a lot, and it's a really good implementation. And now that they added multiplayer, it's actually getting a ton of play now. I've been playing a bunch of online games with it, so I expect it will probably be on the list again next year in this category. But yeah, it's a good implementation. If you like Steam, if you like the Martin Wallace's Steam, it's you can't go wrong with it. So
This is a hard game to play while also listening to you. Just to point out.
they all are.
But yeah, dude, I can't remember what I'm bidding on, but I'm just gonna keep bidding. Spend all my money in the first round. Um, thanks for the follow. But yeah, that between this and Brass, I mean, I know Brass also got some updates this year. Do you feel like one has stood out more to you this year?
Well, Brass has been. I have not played. I don't think I've played one solo game of Brass, but that's been my kind of my multiplayer board game to go to. So,
Okay.
so those two have kind of filled um, my niche of when I haven't been playing the great games from 2016 that we'll talk about eventually. These have been the board games that I've been playing. So. Ooh, Quirkle. Someone just mentioned Quirkle. That is actually a game that I still do play, and I do like quite a bit.
Should we add that to the list?
Splendor, not so much, but Quirkle, yeah.
I did go back to Splendor this year, but it just didn't stand out compared to some of these others for me. But we can throw Quirkle on the list for sure. I think. Do you? Maybe I'll make a quick case for Magic Duels real quick.
Sure.
I don't know. Like every year or something, I get the urge to spend money on collectible card games, which is a really bad choice. Um, but Magic Duels, I don't know. I hadn't played it since it came out. I think in 2015? I believe so.
Well, Magic Duels was, I believe, 2015. Yeah. I mean, there's been a version every year, but I think the latest one was 2015. If
And then
I'm
they've just been adding to
not
it.
mistaken, and they keep updating the same one now. They're not going to keep adding a year to the end.
Well, I just thought it was cool because I love this kind of adding the different expansions because I was able to uh, just kind of get a taste of what these sets are without having to go spend a lot. So I don't know. I liked it.
How much
Um,
have you spent playing Magic? Like,
I don't think I've spent any
honestly,
more
I
than
honestly
that.
I never got into it. The digital, I tried, but um, yeah, Foggy Planet saying it needs a better interface, and I agree. I think the interface is clunky, and
Compared to Hearthstone or something for sure.
yeah, well, I think just the game itself with the interrupts and stuff is not a good perfect fit for the iPad. But I mean, that could just be me. But um, so I
No,
just never got into it so much. So I was because I spent a ton of money in Hearthstone back when I played. So I was just curious if you think that's where a lot of people in Magic Duels are too. Are they, are the fans of this dropping money like they would be in Hearthstone buying packs, or is this one more of a you can earn more gold and not spend as much money kind of thing?
well, I think they've. I don't. In terms of monetization, I don't think they're doing very well at all. Like, I
Okay.
I think it's. I think they don't want to go full Monty, which we've criticized them for, but I feel like they're trying to hedge their bets and trying to keep their core business afloat, which is doing very well. But and just use this more as kind of a intro, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think I agree with you. The fact the really for me it was just a nice nostalgia hit when I needed it. Um, and but I yeah I don't see it standing up to especially. I mean I think like there's three pretty big ones on this list if we look at it. Do you
For this
agree?
category, you mean?
If yeah for this category, I would
Yeah.
say XCOM is pretty big. Card Crawl seems pretty big. I mean did that win last year?
That
and
that was yeah that was our game of the year, I believe. Yeah.
and it's a
So
really quick like it's really easy to play. And I really think, and I know we'll talk about Sorcery 4 in a couple minutes, but I feel like in terms of just the series as a whole, I don't know. I went back to it this year as on a stream and
yeah,
played through the whole thing, and I fell in love with those games in a way that I hadn't before.
yeah.
Um, I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, when you put them all back to back and you can play through them, it's an amazing thing. I mean, it's really really cool. Um, I mean, I wouldn't knock. I think the fourth was below the quality of the other three, but that's not to say it was a bad game by any stretch. And I mean, the whole series as a whole is pretty incredible. So
Right.
I know I played a bunch because I went back too, and when because I knew four was coming out, and I played through the first three again, and found more stuff that I hadn't seen already, and just yeah, they're just so well done. So
So can I cut Brass and Steam from
please,
here?
yes.
Okay. I've just never been able to like crack the shell of those games, and I know that
Well,
I'm a
you're an
filthy
Ameritrash
casual,
guy.
so I'm an Ameritrash guy. Is that what?
Yeah, you don't like those Euro games, so
I think I've got a phone number behind me. No, but yeah, I don't know. I think
if it doesn't have minis, Brad won't play it. So
that is not true. Corkle is I don't know. We added it here. I mean, I
I
really
haven't
think
played it a lot. I mean, I've played it, but not as much as XCOM's kind of a freak thing because I'll admit I didn't play it. It was really XCOM 2 coming out, which came out I think in April or something like that. And when that came out, then whenever I wasn't be able to sit at my computer and play XCOM 2, I wanted that fix, so I put it up back on my iPad and ended up playing a ton of just the old XCOM on my iPad. Um,
that's kind of
but
what
I would
happened with me
say,
with Roller Coaster Tycoon just now. Sorry,
okay,
computer.
yeah. So I don't know if that is legit. It's kind of like because I don't know if XCOM 2 wouldn't have come out and I wouldn't have gotten that like itch to play it that I would have loaded up and played a bunch of it. So um,
Yeah,
so I'm not sure. I guess it's up to you. You're the boss for a
I'm the
reason. Make
boss.
a decision. Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I see Card Crawl for sure. Like I could see Card Crawl. I don't know. I could see Sorcery taking this for me because I didn't latch on to card crawl as strongly. Um, but I don't know, dude, like, and then XCOM. I didn't really come. I mean, I've been wanting to get an XCOM 2. I have not yet, but like I haven't purchased it yet. I don't know, man.
Um,
If you had to cut one of those three,
I could say if I had to cut one of those three. I would say probably XCOM, just because I think it was conditional that it's on the list.
okay. Yeah, I
So
think I would agree with that. So the question is the winner of these two, then sorcery and card crawl.
well, if we're going by just a sheer number of time I've spent, it's going to be card
Card crawl.
crawl. But I mean, I still play card crawl. I mean, that's still just a game that
Yeah, I have
um,
it. I thought I had it up here. I don't see it. Maybe I forgot to download it. Yeah, but yeah, oh, there it is. Yeah, I agree. It's a really good game. So yeah, I could see it winning this, and then sorcery being runner up. That wasn't so rough, right?
no, it's perfect.
Okay.
Oh, they want you to show card crawl.
Oh, I'm pulling it up.
Play a game of card crawl quick. Show everyone how it works.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to pull it up.
You can play it. You can play a full game in a couple minutes. So here's the thing. People will always complain about. It happens every time we say about card crawls. They played it once. It was so easy that they just deleted it, and it was no big deal. The game is easy to play. You can, if you want to win the game, you can win it every single time. But the trick is to push your luck and try to get more and more gold.
Right.
And that's where the fun comes in, is trying to see, well, how much can I get and eke out of this game. So
it's been a while since I've played. Sorry.
Oh, good. So it won't be as easy then. Maybe you'll look terrible.
Can you remind me real quick? So, like, shield for defense.
Yeah, you'll get it. Just so you have a shield. You can go put it in one of your hands. You can take that 5 shield and put it in your hand.
Okay.
And then drag the monster onto it, and that kills them.
The monster. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm remembering now.
So it's basically a dungeon crawl, but you have these 4 cards that you're trying to play through, and the trick is because you can throw garbage in the box up above, and it'll give you gold for everything that you trash.
Right.
So you want to trash a bunch of good stuff like swords and shields, but if you trash too much, you'll lose.
Right.
So it's like you're trying to push your luck and see how far can I go and what can I get rid of, and but still make the most money possible. So, and then they add a bunch of special cards that you can mix and match and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
Right.
And then there's delve mode, which is a whole other mode, which is tons of fun, where you're just trying to see how far you can go. And yeah, so it's just, there's a bunch of stuff in there, and I think it's like $2. And
they have like sort of a sequel coming soon. Is that right?
Card Thief is in beta right now. That's the next game, but it's nothing like this one at all. It's completely different. The art is similar. It's done by the same artist, and it looks really, really cool. But the gameplay and everything is way different. It's a more complicated and more complex game than Card Crawl is. So, I've been playing it for a couple of weeks now, and I still cannot wrap my head around exactly what I'm supposed to do.
I haven't seen your posts on it.
Yeah, it's like this one where I could win every game. I could steal the chest every game if I want to, but I can't figure out how to get high scores, which is the trick of it, is...
Right.
So...
All right. I fed 2 potions. I don't know if we might regret that. All right, so Card Crawl's our winner. Let me just finish this real quick.
God, I haven't played Hearthstone in a long time. Someone's asking no Hearthstone for old game. Yeah, I haven't played it in forever, so...
I definitely considered it, but I just... Yeah, I also have not... I mean, I did go back for Gadgetzan a little bit, but I just haven't played it the same way I've played others.
Yeah, I didn't even bother. I haven't looked at Gadgetzan at all yet in this. I can't remember which expansion. There's one expansion that it came out, and I bought a few packs and said, "Okay, this is way too much for me now." It jumped the shark, and I was done, and I haven't got back to it. So
The archetypes are pretty cool, actually. Uh,
I'm sure that's the thing. I know it's a great game, and I'm. It's just one of those like now that I've been out of it, I feel like it's kind of a hurdle to try to get back in. So I'm just like, whatever.
right.
I could always fall back on Dream Quest instead. So
Please don't. No. Uh,
just for the art.
yes, just for the art. I think I just died. All right. Well, that is card crawl, which I just lost. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that on while we switch over to our next thing, which is biggest surprise of 2016. This one should be a little quicker, I think.
Biggest surprise, yeah, because the biggest surprise, I think, really are two things that didn't happen.
Do you want me to read
Personally,
the list real
I don't
quick?
even know if it's worth it because I think most of these are like none of these surprised me except for two of them. So,
Okay, that's
um,
fair. That's fair. Well, I'll read them real quick,
but
and then
go
we can
ahead if you
start
want to
cutting
read them.
stuff off.
All right.
Pocket Card Jockey, which is a 3DS game. Icebound Concordance, which is mostly this book right here. Um,
You
and
still,
then
yeah.
got a little higher. And then Plants vs Zombies Heroes, Reigns, No Seven Wonders, Cthulhu Realms, Board Games in VR, and No Through the Ages. Okay, well, we can cut.
So we know the two winners here.
What are the two winners for you? I'm gonna cut a lot of
That
these
there's still
games.
no Seven Wonders in 2016, and there was no Through the Ages in 2016. Those are the two.
So No Through the Ages didn't surprise me. I don't know. I mean, I know disappointed. I feel like surprise and disappointed are two different emotions. um,
Well, I thought, and I mean, I had talked to Vlada. I thought 2016 was pretty much a lock for Through the Ages, so I was surprised when it got to it, and they were like, "No, no, it's going to push into 2017." You're right; it was probably more of a disappointment to me, but I was still so disappointed that I guess I
that's
was,
fair.
all right.
So I would say, yeah, I don't know. Like for me, yeah, no Seven Wonders. Like that's insane. Like we played a functional version of Seven Wonders in 2015, then played basically the same version in 2016, middle of the year, when suddenly another test flight build appeared, uh, and that's and it's still not out yet, which is
No,
insane.
and I mean, and as far as I know, it's where it was 3 years ago. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
It's the weirdest thing ever. I
you
have
know what
no
we
idea.
should talk about though. I think it's really important to talk
Which,
about this.
which what?
Is board games in VR because I have the video of me putting the helmet on that you can see.
Uh,
It's currently in the streaming window. I guess you're behind a little bit because I'm not sharing my screen. But I don't know. I thought board games in VR was pretty interesting. I'm not like 100% excited about it, but I find it really interesting that it's a thing that exists. It surprised me. Like at Gen Con, there were like what three or so people showing it off.
yeah, there are at least three. I think were the three big ones at least. Yeah,
And look at me, man. I'm like in the world of magic right now.
yeah, it's great. All I can think is how you get to play games and feel nauseous at the
At
same
the
time.
same
How wonderful is that?
So I've cut all the games off because I
Uh,
guess none of those were super surprising. I mean, I thought Cthulhu Realms was really great, but I guess surprising might not be the right word. Um, I don't know. I think No Seven Wonders wins for sure. Like I think it's a lock. But I would
yeah.
take
I mean,
VR over through the. I don't know. I just like because
it's
by
that's up to you because I didn't do it because I know I would get sick. That's fine. So
well,
I
plus
mean,
I've let you laugh
I'm
at me.
fine
Like
getting through
look
the
at
ages
this.
off. I was laughing at you. I was
Well, now you
filming
can
you
laugh
and
at me
laughing
right this
hysterically.
moment.
I was
No,
like waiting for you to fall off the chair.
that would have been funny. I have to admit something here, a confessional. I was playing a VR game at work and threw. Oh, it's gonna play another video. Hold on. Don't want you to do that. Um, I threw one of the Oculus controllers while I was
Oh,
playing it.
nice.
So, because it told me to let go, and I let go, and the controller flew away from me, which was pretty crazy. Um, okay, so that is, I think that category is pretty quick.
Yeah,
Because a
there you
lot of the
go.
surprises I put games up there, but nothing. None of the games were like. I mean, there were a lot of great games this year. That's like we'll get into that. Like there were
Yeah, it was a good
amazing
year,
board game
but
ports and others this year. But all right, so the winner, we go with No Seven Wonders
yeah.
with a
And
runner up.
just if you don't want spoilers, the biggest surprise of 2017 next year when we do this is probably going to be No Seven Wonders. So
It will never be released. It's just a
eh,
vaporware.
we've been punked. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll go with the next category here, which is
Interactive RPG.
yeah, we can go with that. I think.
All right. Again, another category where I haven't played many. So,
You know, I don't want to
well,
berate
I
you
shouldn't say that.
publicly, but
I've
no, I'm
played
just
most of them, but
kidding. um, so maybe we should just I'll read the list real quick and then we can
yeah,
talk through
go
some of these.
nuts.
Okay, we've got Sorcery 4, Icebound Concordance, Pathfinder Adventures, Reigns, and Frost. Uh,
Yep.
yep, that's not a huge list, but I mean, this is usually a pretty popular category. I feel like we actually saw fewer games from this category this year, at least ones that. Because I thought Warlock from Firetop Mountain was supposed to come out, but it looks like it's only PC right
It
now.
is only PC. Yeah, it should be out Q1 of this year for
Okay,
on iPad, but yeah,
so we're probably talking about that one next year, possibly. Uh,
I would assume yes. So I
so
played it on PC and it's pretty good. So
So
um,
sorcery, I don't know. I love the sorcery series. It's nice to have the ending and be complete
it
that
is.
saga.
I
But
was yeah.
of the books, it's
Well, I
not
would
my favorite.
say, yeah, of these, the thing is of the actual books, which I still have, the actual paper books, oops, I just did something to of the
Oh,
actual books, it's my favorite of, of the four books, and the app just does, kind of mucks it all up, and I'm not
yeah,
sure, um, boy, I don't know how to explain it. They just, kind of ditched all the innovation and cool stuff that went into the previous couple books, and it's more of just a straight up game book, and you end up in these loops that you keep end up doing the same things over and over and over again, and it's
trying to get certain things. Yeah, that's true. That's what, like those
yeah.
counters and stuff.
Yeah,
Tricky.
you end up like, okay, if I have to go down this stupid alley one more time because, and then that's
Yeah,
monastery, it's like every time, okay, you end up back and then you have to go to the monastery. And so it just was like getting so repetitive that I couldn't even get to the end. I finally just said, the heck with it, I'm done. I can't keep doing this. And
right.
I felt like I was just treading water. So, and compared to the other ones where I couldn't stop playing them until I got to the end, it was quite a switch. So,
I agree with you there. I mean, it was fun after having played through them all in like a week. It was fun to
yeah,
get to the end, but I agree in terms of the game itself. I really enjoyed some of the other ones better.
yeah.
Especially like three, which might be my favorite now. But
The third one was, yeah, one of the best, I think, games ever made for iPad, actually. The third one was unbelievable. But,
so I'm gonna
um,
cut that one. I guess I can talk about this
well, I don't know
since.
if we need to cut it because,
Oh, you don't think so?
well, like you said, I don't know that it was a great year for interactive story RPGs. So I would say mediocre Sorcery is still a pretty decent game.
Okay, we
But
can leave it now. Then
I
for
haven't
now.
played Icebound Concordance. So why don't you talk about it? Because I know it
So
comes with a book and stuff like that, but I really don't know much about
so I
it. So
didn't download the app because it really, I mean, it's mostly this book, but it's not mostly this book, but basically you're trying to help an AI figure out like a novel it wrote after its like human creator's death. And there's this book that was put together by truthers trying to show you the truth of what happened. And so you actually show this to your iPad, and sometimes it'll show different things that aren't on the page. So like it'll highlight certain parts of the text. It'll add new images and words. It's really cool the way it interacts with the book. I just wanted to highlight it here. Like it was really fun to check out, and I'm pretty sure it came out this year because I saw the video that we made this year. But I don't think it hangs with these other things, but it's a really cool idea. Like if you love physical stuff, like all of us board gamers do, it's a cool interaction. It's because it's like find me something that reminds me that I was a good father, and you have to like find a passage in here that
Oof, boy,
stuff
that
like
would
that.
never happen.
But well,
I'd be looking for a long time.
so I don't know. I don't think like I have a horse I'm willing to go to bat for on here, and I don't think this is it. I just wanted
That's
to
not the
highlight it.
one, huh? All right.
Nope. I mean, the one I want to put on here is the one I know that you're going to fight me on. But we don't
Oh,
need to
I'm
talk about
curious.
Pathfinder yet. But Frost, did you play Frost at all?
I did not. I don't even know what it is. So,
So it's a interactive fiction might be a little strong, but it's a survival card game where you're trying to survive the frost. So you're playing different cards to complete different tasks and move down the path and feed your people and gather new people, and
okay.
so it's got a cool art style. Uh, so it shows you like what you need to get through this region. You need some food, you need some wood, and you need a dude. And so you
Okay.
can play these cards up there to kind of fulfill those things, and then you move on to the next location. But while you're traveling, bad stuff can happen, like you can get attacked by wolves or whatever.
Hmm.
Uh, so it's an interesting thing. It's kind of depressing, but was definitely
Well,
pretty
I
cool.
see that you need like an iPad Pro or better to run it.
Is that what it says?
It says, warning, the game will not work on iPhone 5C and above. It says the game will work on iPhone 5C and above and iPad Pro and iPad Pro slash 4. What does that mean? Maybe iPad 4 and above to iPad Pro. I don't know. That's weird how they worded it, but
Yeah.
it's yeah. Looking at the screenshots, I can't imagine that it would require that much power. But
No, no,
um,
I don't know. That's interesting.
okay,
I
yeah,
didn't
it's just
realize that was
weird. All right.
required, but
Well, maybe
that's
not.
interesting.
Maybe I'm just maybe it's just worded weird because it says iPad Pro slash 4, which I'm not sure what that means. But okay. Anyway, all right. I'm looking at it. It looks interesting.
It's definitely one that I've enjoyed this year. It didn't stick with me as much as oh, thanks for the link. Trashorama posted the link to the Icebound Compendium book. So you need the book to play
Uh,
Icebound Concordance. The app is free. The book is 25 now. I guess Amazon ran out. I don't think it was that much, but anyway, yeah. So I don't know. Like I like Frost a lot. It didn't hook me as much as the other game I want to talk about on this list, but like I mean, I think Pathfinder is clearly a lock, right? I mean, it's
well, that's my winner. So yeah.
it's gonna win a
But
lot of things this week, I believe. But wait, did I not
spoilers.
down? Oh, sorry. Did I? I did. There it is. Yeah. I mean, I'm not worried about that one, and I'm happy to remove Frost, but I really think in this maybe category that isn't as strong as it usually is, that Reigns is pretty good.
Okay.
And I know you didn't connect with Reigns, I guess, right?
I don't hate it, but I don't get it. I guess that's my issue. I don't know, something with it just did not click with me. But more of not a like click.
Mechanical.
Not yeah. It was more of a mechanical thing. It wasn't emotional or like I saw. I was like, oh, this is interesting and fun. But I like, what am I supposed to do here? I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, am I doing good? Am I doing bad? I couldn't figure anything out. Like, what the hell was happening? And so I just kind of was like, eh. But I know all I've heard is great, fantastic things about it. So I feel like an idiot, and it's still on my phone because I plan on like, okay, I gotta keep trying it at some point, and because I would keep hearing how good it is. So, but yeah, personally, it just was one of those like, I don't know, I have no idea what I'm doing. So
That's fair. I mean, I think it takes some time for the layers to come through, and I know that's a really douchey thing to say, uh, but I feel like because you start getting the point like because your goals are basically to die in interesting
Like
ways.
that. Like what? Like, what is the deal? Okay, I'm watching a delayed version here because I'm watching the Twitch stream, but like the bird was just said tweet. It's
But
like,
one of the
what is
goals I was
that?
supposed to do is fall in love with a bird, and I haven't figured out how to fall in love
Oh,
with that bird yet. But I
see, all
need to
right.
do it. Like, see, right? Royal deeds. One of them is uh, date a pigeon. Like, I need to date a pigeon, and I haven't figured it out yet. And I don't know. It's funny and quirky and weird. I don't know. It's bizarre, and it has very much that play again thing. And then sometimes it has things where you have to like swipe really quickly because you have meters that are constantly going up or down that you have to worry about. Um, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. This like it's one that I've kept coming back to. That I keep coming back to.
All right, you can have it. I'm not gonna force you
Well, I
to.
would take it over sorcery for sure. I think Pathfinder
Okay.
is the clear winner here.
You know what Reigns kind of reminds me of a little bit. Not in complexity or mechanics, but King of Dragon Pass is another one of those like story games that I cannot figure out for the life of me.
Yeah.
So, but I know it's good, and I keep it on my iPad, and every now and then it's the same kind of thing where it's just okay. I don't get it, but I know it's up there, and it should be, I should be figuring it out. So, so fine. Reigns can win all the awards. That's fine with me. So,
Can win all the awards.
all the
Well,
awards
Apple
can
gave
go
it
to
all the
Reigns.
awards, so
Oh, did
uh,
they? What do they know?
they gave it just their one award that they give, I guess. All right, so for best interactive story slash RPG, we've got winner Pathfinder with runner-up Reigns. Is that correct?
I'm okay with that. Yes.
Is that acceptable?
Yes, that's fine with me.
Okay.
Well done.
Yes, I agree. All right, so I
On
think
your
we'll go with best puzzle game before we do finish up with
Yeah.
best debut.
All
We're actually
right.
going through these pretty quickly, faster than I was expecting. Um, okay, best puzzle game is one that has a lot of nominees in it right now.
And it's another one that I haven't played many of them. Brad, if you guys haven't noticed, this has not been a real good year for me. So I played a ton of the board game parts, and that's like everything else has kind of been put on the side for me right now.
Yeah.
Uh, but anyway, um, so this you're going to be doing a lot of talking here. So
I have to do all the talking. All right.
nominees. Well, I know a couple of them, but a lot of them I'm like, yep, I've seen the name, but
So the nominees are Picross 3D Round 2, which we can debate whether or not it qualifies since it's only on 3DS. Mini Metro, Inyo, Imbroglio, Frost, Solitarica, Really Bad Chess, Perchang, Human Resource Machine. Uh, Before we jump in, can I just ask you about two of these?
yes, please.
So I put Inyo and Imbroglio on this list because
Yeah.
I felt like I should because they're from people that usually do stuff that we like, and
Yeah.
I have both of them downloaded them at one time and never cracked either of them open. Uh,
Oh,
have you
well,
played them?
interesting. I've played Enyo, which is from Tiny Touch Tales. That's the guys who did Card Crawl.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, it's good, but it's not my style of game. I don't appreciate them. And Broglio is kind of the same monster. Basically, you're given a level. It's kind of a static level, and then you have to move around and figure out how to get past that level. And of course, you have different abilities you can use in this, that, or other thing, but they're kind of like roguelike. I'm trying to think of like Hoplite would be like one that's kind of like them, or
Right.
maybe Oro from came out last year, the year before. I don't remember, but those kind of games I'd say they're similar to, which they're fine. They're not my cup of tea. So they're both well done and everything else. If you like roguelikes, I would say check them out. Now I know Enyo, Tiny Touch Tales kind of did that as a like, hey, look, we can make a game in a couple days, kind of, and then it turned into a bigger project, but it was kind of a side project to their main games. It
Okay.
definitely was not a big release for them. It was kind of like, hey, we have this thing, we might as well put it out on the App Store, and it's still polished and very well done, but it's not to the level of like hardcore. The art isn't as good and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
um, and Broglio is by, and I cannot remember his name, but he's the guy who did 100 Rogues
Right.
and um, oh, it's killing me. I can't remember his name, but he's a really good developer. Makes a ton of like really good roguelike titles and stuff, and it's in the same thing where if you like those kind of games, he did 863 Hack was his other game, um, and if you like those games, I mean you'll love Imbroglio. It's the same kind of deal. It's just not my cup of tea, but
Okay.
um,
Yeah, I I feel bad for having not touched either of those.
well, there are some on the list later that we'll get to that are on mine as well that I'm ashamed that I haven't played because I think they're on our best of the year list, and I still
Oh,
haven't
okay.
gotten to play. Um, so yeah, so I feel bad too. So don't feel too bad. You'll be all right.
All right. Should we
Michael Burrow is his name, by the way,
should
the
we cut
developer
those
of
two, do you
Imbroglio.
think? Or do you think they stand with
I would say personally on this list, I would drop them because I have one on here that I have two on the list that I think are better. So
Okay.
personally, that I like better. So
So I'll take those away. Frost I put on here. I don't know. I don't think it stands with these other ones. We talked about it already, so I'm just gonna cut it.
does it fit as a is it a puzzle style game? Is that what
I mean,
you'd
it's
classify
definitely
it
like a
as?
roguelike, like can you
Okay,
survive?
all right.
Um,
I might have to check
again,
it out.
think think I'll be okay.
And that's a single player only kind of thing, right? Hey, it's just a. I might have to check it out. All right,
Yeah, it is single player only.
all right.
It's kind of like a
You
co-op
sold
game.
me.
All right, check it out.
You sold me, Brad. Well
$2,
done.
$4. I don't know how much it is off the top of my head. Um, we can probably cut. Well, I
What's the
know you're
one?
not a big fan of Perchang, right? Perchong.
I did not like Perchang. No.
I really like the look of it. It's not
I
something
well
I've
I
stuck with like
yeah
some of the
I
other
I like the
ones.
look of it too. It looks awesome, but the gameplay was not. It was very twitchy and just not what I want in a puzzle game at all. I want to be able to
Yeah.
sit and think about it. I don't want to have to hit buttons and make things move. So just
So
was not the kind of game I like. Period. So
we'll get rid of it then. It's gone. Just, um, man, my mini Metro game is failing right now because I'm not paying attention to it. Uh,
So explain Mini Metro because I downloaded it and it's on my phone. I played it one time and then I never got back to it. So I'm curious to know why it's on the list for you.
so uh, I actually haven't played it a ton, but I feel like it's just a really interesting pathing game, I guess, and it
Okay.
looks really cool. Um, it's not near and dear to my heart, so I can see it going from this list. I just wanted to give it some props because I know it's a it's a very um, excuse me. I think it's a really well respected game in this genre.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. I don't know. And I should give it more chance. I will.
Right.
I guess when I've just played it a little bit, it kind of reminded me of what were those old games like? Oh man, like when the iPhone first came out, you had to like airplanes would be flying in, and you had to bring them on the runways.
Yeah.
I forget what those are called, but that's
Flight
kind of what it reminded
controller
me
or
of.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit. It reminded me of like that kind of a feel, which I don't know is like okay. I don't
Yeah.
know.
No,
Again, I don't like my puzzles fast. I prefer my puzzles to be thoughtful and take my time and work them out. So maybe that's part of the issue too. I don't know, but
yeah, I agree. I found it interesting, but I agree the real time aspect can get a little challenging at times. Um, Before we get into the ones that are real battles, I think
Yeah,
Potentially. I think really bad chess we can probably cut from here too. That was really weird.
there were a couple chess games that came out this year that were.
Did Weird Chess come out this year, or
I thought it did, didn't it? Or maybe that was last year. That it didn't seem like it was that long ago, but there was Weird Chess and there was another one that.
I just opened myself for check in the first move.
Well done.
Classy.
Um, God, there was Chesh, which came out too.
Can't even. Sorry, I'm doing really bad. Yes, Chesh. There's Chesh this year.
That's I'm looking it up, and I cannot find it. Did it get yanked from the? I do not see it.
Guys, turns out I'm real bad at
Huh.
chess, especially when I'm talking at the same time. Yeah, so
Oh, there it is.
Chesh.
So I'm not sure. No, released in 2015. So okay, so
Okay.
those did come out in 2015. Wow, I didn't think it was that long ago. All right. So yeah, so really bad chess is the one then that came out this year, the chess variant. So
Yep, and I enjoy it. I like the designer too. Like he's done some cool stuff, but I don't really think it hangs here. I just wanted to give it some props.
well, what's the background here? The background of really bad chess is that it kind of randomizes your pieces, right? It just kind of will give you
Yeah. So you're
whatever, wherever kind of thing, and it's just kind of a crazy chess variant at that point.
yeah. So it's just giving you a random board, and your opponent has the same board usually, unless you start playing some of the rank stuff, and then your opponent can get weird boards that you don't have. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's an interesting one.
Like I'm assuming if you're tell it you're a bad chess player, it'll give you more queens and your opponent less
The more you
queens or
lose,
something.
yeah, the more you
Okay,
lose, the worse
start pushing it.
your
Gotcha.
board gets, or the better your board gets, I guess.
Okay,
But yeah, so I don't know. It's a fun
cool.
game. Uh, if you're into chess, it's kind of a fun variant, I guess, to play around with. But I don't think it hangs with the other three that we have remaining.
All right.
Um,
So, you know which two I'm voting for. So, and I'm guessing you really want Picross 3D. I have not played it.
I would love
I
to
could
see it
see
on the
myself
list.
loving it though.
I don't
So,
know if it's fair because a lot of people, like a lot of our readers, aren't going to be able to play it. Um, I don't know. Like it's a really, I mean, I can just talk about it for a minute, I guess. Picross 3D, it's Picross puzzles where you're trying to reveal a picture and you have numbers on this cube that tell you how many colored blocks there are in that row or column. And so you have to use just logic, basically. It's not like hard math, but just basic logic to figure out what can be removed and what needs to be colored a certain color. And then you're trying to reveal a shape. Uh, and so I think I don't know. I think it's a really fun game. It's only on 3DS. Um, Actually, there are some knockoff versions on on iOS, kind of similar things. But yeah, I think it's really great. But I think I like both of the other things that are on here, which are Solitarica and Human Resource Machine. So I could see letting it go or having
okay,
like a third runner up
I
or something.
that's fine. I'm not gonna. I mean, if it's hard for me, I don't have a 3DS, so
Right.
if it's a Nintendo, I can't really do a whole lot about that. So,
And that's the hard part with
um,
our readers is they're going to be in the same boat, a lot of them too. So uh,
another one that came out that I just thought of, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. But
oh, that just came out.
no, it came out in January. I thought it was last year, but I was just looking, and it actually came out on January 8th of 2016, which I thought it was longer ago than that, so I didn't even think about it. But
What game?
anyway, uh, TIS 100p,
Oh yeah,
which is pretty amazing. But we can talk about that with Human Resource Machine because they're kind of similar. So
yeah, that's true. Do you want to talk about that one real quick? Actually, pull that up.
Human Resource Machine,
Yeah.
sure. If I believe that was out on PC for a while before it came to mobile. But
Didn't care
it's
what they said.
basically a programming game. Um, it's basically the inside of a computer, and you control the CPU basically. But it's like a little person, and you're given chores to do in this company. But it's basically taking stuff from the input and getting it to the output and manipulating it along the way. And yeah, it's basically a writing code, which sounds horrifyingly terrible, but it's actually really really fun to do, and it's incredibly rewarding when you get it to work. Um, it's also very frustrating because you can get it to work. If you know brute force it, it's pretty easy to get it to work, but then it'll show you like the average of like how many lines people use and stuff when you're done, and it's always like 1,000 lines less than you use. So
Right.
the trick is like going back. How the hell did someone get this all done in 7 lines or 7 commands? And then trying to figure that out, and that's where like the whole like you got to be kidding me nightmare kind of comes in, and it's a blast. I just fell in love with it. Um, but I code too, so that could be part of it. That's kind of like something I enjoy anyway. So I guess putting a game around it kind of is right up my alley. So
I really enjoyed this
um,
game too. I don't code, but
okay,
I really liked it, and I love trying to figure out the most efficient code structure, basically, to
yeah,
do it in the
yeah,
number of lines they say you can do it in.
and
Just
they're lying because there's no way some of those are ridiculous.
I don't know. I don't know if they're lying. It could be, I guess.
No, yeah, it's pure balderdash. So
Yeah, I really love that one. I mean, so yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know. We'll just take Picross off. I'm gonna leave it there just
oh
so its
man,
spirit
so
can
you
be
can
with us.
stare at it, and yeah,
Uh,
that's fine.
uh,
And then the other one I was talking about, and maybe that no one cares about this, but
I don't know if I have it to
if you
show.
like, no, that's fine. I could just, but if you like programming games like Human Resource Machine, there's another one called TIS-100P that is for iPad. iPad only, I think. I don't think it's on Android. It might be, but I don't think so. It's also on PC. Um, but it's another programming game that it's by the guys who did Space Chem, so it's way more complicated than it's like ridiculously complex compared to, but it's a ton of fun too. So if you're into programming titles, two good ones came out last year: TIS 100P and Human Resource Machine. So
I've heard of some great ones. Also, uh, if you're playing on PC, like Quadrilateral Cowboy or something like that, that's supposed to be really good.
oh, I haven't heard of that one. All right, I'll have to
But
check that out too.
uh, but yeah, I agree. So the hard part is like I'm showing Solitarica right now. Did you enjoy this game?
Solitarica?
Yes.
Yes, quite a bit. I liked Solitarica. I would say it's 2016's card crawl. It's a
Yeah.
fun solitaire game. I actually like it because unlike most roguelikes, this one actually has an end to it. Like you're trying to get like there's a end point that you're trying to get to, which is fun. And it's simple, and but there's enough variation that you can play it over and over and over again. And there's also a bunch of stuff to unlock, which is cool. None
Right.
of it needs cash. There's no IAP. It's all done. You have to play to win gold to unlock new characters and new abilities, and it's just a really fun, addictive game. And it's something you can sit and play a game in. I don't know, probably 10 minutes, maybe if you go through a whole series, it might take you 10 minutes, maybe 15 if you get all the way to the end. I don't know, but not very
Wow,
long.
you're a lot faster than I am.
Really, I don't know. Well, maybe I'm misremembering, but I don't know. But it didn't seem like I ever played it for more than like 15, 20 minutes before I'd like end up starting a new game, I guess, and being ready to try something different. So
I guess that's true. It
I
is
don't know.
pretty easy to wipe if you're. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it is hard to get to the end guy until you start unlocking certain classes and certain powers, and then it gets a little easier. But even with those, you'll it's quite easy to hit a road bump. And
Yeah.
but there's all sorts of powers you can buy between games too, and those change between games. So it's fun to try different combinations and see like, oh, this game I'm gonna focus on just all defense and see if I can win that way. And oh, I've never bought that thing before, so I'll try it this game. And so it's I don't know, it's just a fun it's a fun title. It reminds me of like the old like Dungeon Raid and um,
Oh,
what's
Dungeon
that
Raid.
one? Yeah, Dungeon Raid. Like, it's got that same thing though, where it's a quick game you can play, but it's got the characters you can unlock and different things to make you keep wanting to come back and see what you can find. So, but yeah, no, it's a very well done game, and I hope. I don't think they have added any content to it since its release, but I was hoping that they would
Like add more
eventually add more
paths or something.
classes or more special powers or stuff like that. But
Yeah. Agreed. Man, I finally beat that guy. No, yeah, I agree. Man, it's hard. These two are hard. Uh, between those two, I would say my I lean towards Solitarica, but I really like Human Resource Machine. Also, do you have any thoughts?
um, well, I would say I mean, if we're talking about like of the two, which should I play more? Solitarica. But if we're talking about which is the better, polished and more actual, well-crafted puzzle game, I would say Human Resource Machine is pretty incredible. So I would say probably Human Resource Machine would be my winner
With
based
Solitarica,
on
polish and
polish and everything else. It's kind of it's the artsy pick over the popular pick, I guess is how I put it. So,
that it's the Oscar versus the Golden Globe.
yeah, there you go. Yeah. So that's how I would pick them. But so I would say probably Human Resource would be one and Solitarica two.
Two. Yeah.
And Picross 3D somewhere in the teens.
Boo. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't. I mean, the board gamer in me leans towards Solitarica, but I mean, Human Resource Machine is also just like a program movement game where you're trying to figure it all out.
True.
Uh,
Yeah. I
okay,
mean, I think they're both. Either way we go, I don't think we need to be, uh,
let's
embarrassed by either pick. I think they're both
good
worthy. So I
picks.
think however we pick it, it's probably fine. So
All right, let's do it.
as long
Human
as it's not
Resource Machine,
Picross.
best
Hey,
puzzle
good job.
game with Solitarica as runner-up.
Yay.
And if you're a board gamer, both are great, but Solitarica might be more palatable to you. I don't know.
Well, Solitarica is definitely the more approachable, and I mean, Solitaire is the kind of game my kids will pick up and play on my phone, where they are not going to do that with Human Resource Machine. So
Yeah.
Human Resource Machine is if you have an hour, half hour to kill, and you really want to buckle down and work at something, that's Human Resource Machine.
And you have
It's
to
not
get
a
I feel like you have to get in the mode of like I'm going to solve a coding problem now. Like you have to get your
yes.
brain starting to think that way.
Exactly. Solitaire is definitely one. Hey, I'm sitting at line at the bank. I'm going to whip it out and play a couple rounds of Solitarica and enjoy myself. And uh, Human Resource Machine, you would not do that.
Yeah.
So they're just two different monsters, I think. But
Okay, so the last category we'll move on to is going to be best debut. So this is going to be, if you've been waiting, this is going to be a very board game heavy category as compared to the others today. But tomorrow is almost all board games, I think.
mostly, yeah.
So this is best debut. This is something I came up with this year. Stole it from Giant Bomb, but uh, basically, like, what was a cool first time outing for a company or for a developer, that sort of thing. Which,
Kind of thing that like made its mark this year, kind of thing.
yeah, yep.
Yep.
Guess I'll read the nominees, and this one's gonna be tricky because I don't know. There's a lot of darlings to kill here. I feel like. Of course, there's one that you've already not marked for death. Uh, so we got Pathfinder Adventures, Lanterns, the Harvest Festival. Is that the full title? uh,
Yes.
Tsuro, Sushi Go, Heroes of Normandy, Colt Express, and Digidiced. That's the whole publisher. Um, and with Tsuro, a lot of these we are talking about the developers here. So Tsuro is Thunderbox, which you know came on the scene with this, and it's pretty fantastic. Uh, and then Obsidian and
Yeah. Obsidian, but they're coming to mobile with Pathfinder. Yeah. Um,
Lanterns.
Sushi Go is just, I don't remember who did that one. Lanterns was, yeah, that was Renegade, but
Yeah,
like Direwolf did the app, and they were have never been on the mobile before, and so yeah, just a lot of new companies coming on the thing, and I mean, my thing with I'm the one who said Digidice just because they came up with at least one title before 2016, but they had a
yeah,
pretty good 2016 where it was kind of like a holy crap, they're coming out with another game. It was like, and then their games all ended up being good too. It wasn't like they were
yeah.
throwing out, junk. So I was kind of just, maybe that should have been my biggest surprise. I don't know. I was thinking negatively, I guess, for that category, um, but yeah, so I don't know. That's why I threw Digidice in there. But we might want to kill them just because they didn't really debut this year. So
Because they had, I guess,
um,
Le Havre Inland Port
the
came
Inland
last year.
Port came out, yeah, in 2015, I believe, and then this
Or
year they did Agricola, All Creatures, Big and Small, and Patchwork came out
right.
like within 2 months of each other. So
And Patchwork is pretty fantastic. Like if you're looking for a two-player game on your iPhone, I mean, digitally or otherwise, I feel like this is the one for you. Um,
yeah, Patchwork is it's good enough that I went and bought the cardboard version of it. So because I wanted to be able to play it with my kids. So and take it like on trips and whatever, so I can throw it in my suitcase. So yeah, it's a great port.
yeah, I think the UI is pretty fantastic. Like it's really cute, and they captured a lot of it, a lot of the fun of it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
Digidice is good. I'm excited that they're making apps. So
and hopefully we can give them their props
they're
later
coming out with
on.
another one. What did we just announced it? What do you remember what it was?
Oh
It was their
gosh,
first. It was their first one that's not a Uwe Rosenberg game,
yeah, I'm trying to
and
remember.
it's not. Oh yeah, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, so they're coming out with another one too, which I was like, oh, this is pretty awesome. They're cranking out games, but it wasn't Uwe Rosenberg, and it wasn't only a two-player game, I don't believe. So,
Yeah,
um, so yeah, so good for them.
so I
But
guess
I
we
think we could take them off
we
if
technically
you'd
have to
like.
remove
So
them. Okay.
yes,
Um, Coal Express. Do you want to say your piece here? I threw it on here just because I think visually it's a really interesting idea. I think it's bold of them to include kind of all the story content they included and um, a lot of the I guess fidelity they decided to include in the game. But I also know it's not been the most popular person at the ball this year. So um,
um, well, I think it's a fine. Especially now that it's been updated, it's fine. Oh yeah, the app they're working on is a little something called Terra Mystica.
oh right,
That's right.
just
Yeah,
a
just a little,
small,
you know.
little known title.
Yeah, not really that popular, so I guess that's why it slipped my mind. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so Colt Express, I just thought that it was off the when it was released, it was kind of a mess. Multiplayer didn't work,
Yeah,
and I don't know. I thought as a coming out party for them, it was kind of for Asmodee Digital. It was kind of like a hey, oh boy, play the sad trombone because it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, it was polished. It definitely was. It looked beautiful and it was great, but it just was not a go-to app for me. Just when it came out, so I was just like, eh. It's better now. They have fixed some stuff on it, whatever, and it is playable. And story mode it works.
yeah,
I think another problem is for me the game doesn't work as well, and it's not their fault or the developer or the publisher's fault. I think it's just that style of game. I would prefer sitting around a table and laughing and you
Yeah.
know, that kind of thing. Whereas digitally, it's when the computer shoots and misses everything because something happened, it's not nearly as funny as when your friend does it and
When
wastes
your
his
friend just
action.
shoots off the edge of the train.
Yeah, so so I think just that kind of game was kind of just like all right, I probably whatever, but
Yeah.
um, I can see it. If they're going to keep adding content and expanding the story mode and really polish off that multiplayer and make that something special, I could definitely see it being something that gets played a lot this year. So,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
as a debut, I was kind of like,
I feel like
didn't really
with
do it for
most
me.
of these, they've kind of nailed presentation and let the gameplay and UI is usually pretty good, but the stuff around it, right? Which I don't know, like the vision
Yeah,
they talked about. I'm waiting to see that kind of holistic vision come together.
yeah, and hopefully it does at some point.
Yeah,
But right now, it's not there. So
I agree. All right. Um, I can talk about Heroes of Normandy real quick. I don't know if you played that one at all, but
I did, yeah. And now it came out on PC in 2015.
yeah. So I'm not sure it totally counts.
So
I was planning on cutting it right now anyway, but I think it
okay,
it does it. It's a beautiful idea for a game. That game's pretty complex. I feel like like there's a lot going
yeah,
on in terms of. I mean, not compared to some war games. I know that I'm gonna sound like a
right,
wimp here, but I feel like there was a lot going on there. Um,
yeah.
but the visual
Only
idea and the way it's communicated is
Oh,
really good.
visually, yeah, visually it's awesome. Yeah, and I mean, I haven't played the actual cardboard version, so I can't really compare it to that. But
Yeah,
it looks and feels like a board game when you're playing it. I mean, it's pretty cool. And then they have the explosions, and so it's pretty neat how it all works. But
yeah,
um, also, though, I was gonna say just it is from Slytherin,
yeah.
who definitely is not a newcomer to mobile. I mean, they have a ton of apps out there, so
I was
I
including it
don't.
on a
For,
technicality because it's the first. Like Slytherin kind of takes a lot of developers and they're more of a publisher than a
you're
developer.
right.
I mean,
You're
they
right.
do.
That's
Sorry, they
true.
do have development studio, but they also publish. So it's a
True.
first from this developer. But yeah, I agree.
Okay.
But
Okay. I couldn't remember who the developer was, so that's I couldn't remember off the top of my head if they were a newbie or not.
I
So
can't remember off the top of my head, but I know it is their first game just because
okay,
they've talked to me. And yeah, but yeah, I can't remember the name
gotcha.
of the
Okay,
studio right
no, that's good.
now.
That's no,
um, let's see. Anything? So just to recap what we've got left on here. You've got Pathfinder Adventures, Lanterns, The Harvest Festival, Tsuro, and Sushi Go.
well. Um,
Anything?
sell me on Sushi Go.
That was actually the one that I was going to say we might be able to cut. Uh, I think it's a beautiful game. I think they did a really good job um, in terms of conveying the way the game works. But
Yeah.
it, I don't playing it on iPad. It didn't feel as great to me. It felt small,
Okay.
I guess. Um, and so
Okay.
yeah, I'm okay to let it go. But it is very beautiful, and I think the style is really cool. It manages to capture the game, the card game, while still working on digital, I guess, which was pretty cool. So I just got the
Okay.
sashimi. Take that. Ha. Sorry.
Yeah. I just haven't played it much. It's more of a the game just doesn't do it for me that much. It's not really my kind of game. So I tried it, and yeah, you're right. It looks fantastic,
Yeah.
but it's not something that I'm going to sit and oh, I can't wait to play more Sushi Go on my phone. It's just not going to happen. So,
Right.
um, but that's more my fault. So, um, you know, for this category, it might be a good fit though, but just because I mean, I think this category is honoring not just. I mean, considering that the four games we have left are all ports of board games, so none of these people have sat there and created these games, right? These are
Right.
all being ported. So we're really looking for a style and an aesthetic and that kind of thing. So
I
maybe
agree.
that is something that stays here because it is a you know, for example, I know Pathfinder Adventures is going to be in our talk for best game board game of the year,
Yeah,
right? I don't know that Sushi Go would be.
agreed. And when I was just gonna
Uh,
say, I'm not sure. I'm not sure Pathfinder came out like
Out of
Pathfinder's.
the gate swinging,
Yes,
that's true.
yes.
Yeah,
I like, and I love it, and I want to keep playing it, and I do keep playing it.
yes,
Um, but there was a lot about it that was challenging at first and confusing for people. Uh, so I could see it not making this list.
yeah. Well, and it's still. I mean, it's been what
Yeah,
is 7 8 months since it's been out, and it's still an incredibly buggy game. And part of that is just because they keep adding new content, so you're going to get bugs and whatever. But
yeah,
it definitely doesn't not have the polish of, I would say, of definitely Suro. Well, I would say any of the three actually up here.
yeah.
Um, and you stated when it came out, I think that it was the ugliest
Did I
menu
say
you'd ever see. I think so.
that?
Yes,
Oh wow, I
you'd
gotta watch
never
my
seen
tongue.
a menu quite as ugly as Pathfinder. So from an aesthetic standpoint, yeah, it might be
Well, and
not the
I mean, we
greatest.
do have
So
like a design category too, but like I just feel like
yeah,
it's the first few months of that. I feel like were pretty rough for people.
it was, and then
Um,
it took a long time for new content to come out, and yeah, quest mode wasn't working right. So yeah, there was a long time in the year where there's like 2 or 3 months where I didn't play it at all because there just wasn't any content for it. And then then once it started to come out, it was like, okay, this is a never leaving my iPad. But
right.
um, so yeah, I mean, so you're right. As a debut, it probably was not the shiniest. Their highest moment when it first came out. So
Yeah.
um, I would say that Suro might hit that then as well.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
well, if you remember, Suro, while the gameplay and everything was quite wonderful, multiplayer when Suro was released was a mess
Hmm.
because when it was released, it was Facebook only, and
Right.
there was quite a lot of anger about that, and it took them a few months to realize their mistake, and they did correct it and made it so you didn't need a Facebook account or
So you could
whatever.
use
But
Game Center or
I think they went through, yeah, through Game Center. I'm not
yeah.
sure, but yeah. So I mean, so I know the initial reports of that were it's a great game, but it'd be really nice if we could just go get random people online or play with our friends online and stuff, and not have to go through Facebook. And
Yeah.
um, so I guess from a debut standpoint, maybe
I just feel
that's
like
a
for the
yeah,
first game from a company, it just was. I mean, I think
it,
it was pretty
it is
positively
pretty,
received and
yeah,
looks amazing.
it is shiny. You're right. It is very
Like
so
it
it's going to be
just,
tough. I would say these three are going to be pretty tough, but I would say right now I'm leaning towards Lanterns and Suro. But
I could.
um,
I want to argue with you, but I could actually see that. I love Sushi Go. Like I love the way it looks. Lanterns is
yeah,
just really polished. Like
it is. It's
really,
really
really
pretty.
polished.
Yeah,
And they managed to do that to pull off the because where Suro does the hey, here's a perfect replica of the board game, and they do an amazing job at that. Lanterns, I mean, is it follows the rules of the board game exactly, but instead of cards, they just have the position of the lanterns rather than having to stick to actual cards just to give it a different feeling and like you're actually laying them on the water and stuff. It's really cool.
yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. And God, this year is so good that oops, jeez, that I mean, you can games like Suro and Lanterns and even Sushi Go. All three of these are ones where
Yeah.
I'd be, name the best. I'd be like, oh, I forgot those even came out this year. That's how good of a year this is, and they're all three of them are good. So,
I mean, I guess if we want to
uh,
make it easier on ourselves, we could say because sushi goes from game right, is that
game
right?
right, yeah, game
And
right,
they
yeah.
have had the forbidden for that
Oh, that's true.
publisher,
That's
this
true.
isn't a
Yeah,
new thing. For the developer, it's a brand new game, and it's really awesome.
yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, I think it's Suro and Lanterns. I hate to let Sushi go. Sushi go.
Well, let's do a gold, silver, and bronze. Well, you're making the rules. We can do whatever we want,
All
Brad.
right, all right. Should we just have a so?
All it means is we have to write up an extra paragraph when we write this up.
That's true. That's true. Uh, so
People are saying though, what about Super Mario debuted this
so yeah,
year?
fuck, I forgot I was gonna mention Foggy Planet. Hey, I like Super Mario Run, but
Oh man.
I used up my mention a game that didn't belong on this list with Picross and Pocket Card
Ugh.
Jockey like 2 or 3 times on this list because I love those games. Um, okay, so my vote for first is Suro, but I don't know if would you go for that?
I can go with that. Sure. I think Suro's
Okay, I'm
a
gonna
great
hit
port. So
Control B. Here goes.
it's the one I've played of the three of these. It's the one I've played the most of. So
Yeah, I mean Lanterns is really fun. I just haven't had as much time. I don't know. I feel like the holiday season gets real busy with stuff to do,
yes, yeah.
both games and not games to do.
All
So
right,
we've
that's it.
finished 5 for tonight. That was a lot. Let me just recap, I guess. So tonight we went over for digital board games this year the best old game that we've been playing, and the winner is Card Crawl, which is like a solitaire variant, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
solitaire dungeon crawl. Yeah.
and then the Sorcery, Steve Jackson Sorcery series, because we've been playing those again since the last one came out. And then the biggest surprise, I think, was the same as last year, which is no Seven Wonders released, even though it seems pretty great.
It's coming
Um,
out for sure this year until it doesn't.
oh man, I just can't even.
I
And
can't
then
wait till Gen Con and we can see another workable build of it.
wow, and then board games in VR is the runner up there. And then we did the best interactive story RPG, which was a weaker category this year, but we had Pathfinder Adventures, the clear winner there, with Reigns as the runner up. And then the best debut, actually, sorry, best puzzle game is Human Resource Machine with Solitarica as the runner up, and Picross 3D somewhere floating in the ether around there. Um, and then for best debut, we have Suro at number 1 with Lanterns and Sushi Go as runners up.
Yay!
Or is it runner ups? No, I'm just kidding. Um,
Everyone's a winner, Brad.
oh, we got a like for Taro Tamasama said, thanks for nominating Lanterns. You're welcome. And it did. I think there could be a debate made between Suro and Lanterns for sure. Uh,
It sure is pretty.
it's
That's
just
right.
they're both just so shiny.
They
Man,
are.
this was a great year for board game ports, by the way. Can I just say, like,
Yeah. It really our best board game port is. I think this is the longest list we've ever had in a 1 year for.
yeah,
And there's even some. Yeah,
that we
God,
didn't
look at
list
this
on here.
list. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and all of these I think are worthy. Anyway, we'll have to talk about that tomorrow. Let's get
Well, they're
into it.
all good. I mean, that's the thing. We can only pick a few, but I mean, they're all like, yeah, games I still have on my phone or iPad because if I'm not playing, I might plan on it at some
Yeah.
point. So, but that's for Thursday. We'll talk about
Yes.
that
So
then.
we'll be back Thursday, same time. That's 10 p.m. Eastern. And we'll
Just want to
be,
give a heads up of what we're doing
yes. So we'll be talking
on
about
Thursday. So,
best multiplayer game, which we don't have a lot of nominees. So I don't know. That will be a quick one. Um, our not board game recommendation, which this is something that is clearly outside of what we cover generally, I'd say,
this
right?
is Brad put this in here just so we can get Picross 3D to win
Just so
a.
I can say Picross 3D for mine. Well, we're both just gonna talk about one, and oh, Civ 6 is really
Yes,
good
and
too. Dang it.
that yeah, that kind of includes PC games too. So,
Yeah. So this may not be something you can play on
but
your laptop.
anyway, yeah,
And then best board game port,
yeah,
uh,
that's a big one. Yeah.
achievement in design, which is like best design, but that's kind of weird. Just like what game had like the full style package, looked really great, played really great. The UI was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
great, that kind of stuff. And then finally, game of the year, which I know we have two game of the year categories here. That's because the game of the year will be a top 5 and may include some stuff that's not directly a board game port.
Right.
Though I
So
think
we have
this
a
year
separate that's just
it's going to
a
be a little
game.
tricky
And
to not have it all be board game points, but we'll see.
Boy, yeah, I think you're right. Looking at this list, holy cow! Wow, what a year. Okay. Anyway, that's
Okay,
Thursday. So,
cool. Well, I'd like to thank
ooh,
everyone for
wait.
watching.
There's expansion news. All right, gotta.
Wait, what? What?
Oh, I'm just reading the. Apparently, there's expansion news. I'm gonna have to talk to Trasharama here.
Oh, oh,
All right.
yeah, Lantern's just. I should have forwarded you the email. Yeah, they. Wait, I thought they it already came out. Didn't you announce that the Lanterns expansion came
Oh yeah, it did. You're right. Yeah. So maybe there's another one.
out? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All
I don't
right.
know. We'll
Well,
have to see.
I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in
All
and
right.
for Aldi for letting us do this. And we'll be back on Thursday
Yeah, for sure.
to do the next part. All right.
All right. Bye, everyone.
See you, Dave.
See you, Brad.